This is LA's first.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. We're all about manifestation, transformation, and breakthroughs. It's time to claim your birthright of prosperity, vitality, and love. So grab your tea or coffee because together we're awakening the world. May you live your truth. I want you to imagine for a moment. I want you to imagine that it's the 1800s and you've been diagnosed with tuberculosis. The doctors prescribe you calomel, which is made of mercury and chlorine, which makes you get mercury poison and get more and more sick as each day goes by. This is what happened to Phineas Quimby. Phineas Quimby was a brilliant man who was seeking truth. He came from poverty. He had no education, but he had something inside of him that knew there was truth, that knew there was answers, that knew there had to be something more in life. So today's podcast is called Universal Law of Healing. We're in a series, we're at number 29 of 52. The Universal Law of Healing states that healing is done through revealing the truth. You have the power to heal through the power of your mind. You have been endowed with an infinite intelligence and an innate healer within. Aligning with Mother Nature and the universal laws allow the symptoms to go away. Negativity, toxicity, and stress are all the indicators you're not aligned. So what happened and so interesting is that Phineas Quimby is considered one of the fathers of the New Thought movement. This week in Spiritual Practitioner, I'm teaching the history of the New Thought movement, which is really, it's Christian mysticism. It's a self-development movement. It is the mental cure movement. It is metaphysics. And if you look around the world today, you'll see all kinds of things of healing through truth. Truth is the answer. Truth is the healer, right? So a dear friend of mine created a documentary, The Cure Is You. David Sharps, love you so much. And it's a brilliant documentary about understanding the power of mind and how we play into our own dis-ease, whether it be consciously making choices that are not in harmony with Mother Nature, or if it's actually creating stress within our mind, right? And then right after that documentary came out was the Heal documentary, which is brilliant as well. And dear friends as well, and brilliant as well. And it's so important to recognize that there's something in us. There's an innate healer that knows, and as we align to the innate healer within and the innate part of ourselves, which is Mother Nature, we are Mother Nature. We are one with everything. And so as we go in today and we recognize healing, what is healing? What is it that causes a dis-ease or not? And the medical field recognizes that 70% of dis-ease is psychosomatic in of itself. And about 90% of people that go to the doctor are going for stress-related illness. So what does this mean exactly? Getting into the mental cure movement, what happened was tuberculosis blew up in the 1800s. And of course, tuberculosis, they found out, was around for something like 1,500 years, even prior to that. But for whatever reason, the cities got, large, and there was probably a lot of, we just didn't have the medical facilities and clean streets and clean sewage like we have today, right? So it got really bad. And it's kind of funny because the mental cure movement came out of the big kind of pandemic of tuberculosis. And now we're looking at, the COVID and how people are shifting their values through the entire thing. And the New Thought movement is blowing up as well because of it. So we have to recognize the perfection of all this. So here, Phineas Quimby basically was seeking truth. And if you're out there and if you're listening to this podcast, the commonality that we really have is that we're all seeking truth. And it doesn't matter if you seek it through the Bible or through a self-help book. Truth is truth. We teach the history of New Thought really goes all the way back to, Egyptian times. It goes to Plato, and it goes to all the great minds that came about. Thomas Troward, who was a judge in India and brought the Eastern and Western together. All the great truths. The thing is truth. It doesn't matter where you get it. It doesn't mean that there's only one place to it. There's only one path, and it's within. And that is what New Thought is. New Thought is really understanding that we get to create something new, no matter what our past is, no matter what our DNA is, no matter what has gone on this planet, that we get to have a new thought. We get to have a new thought because thought creates the world. We're in a mental universe. So how do we heal? Let's just take this. Let's break this on down. So whether you are dealing with stress, and that is the dis-ease of your life, or whether you have stage 4 cancer, or whether you're dealing with COVID. No matter what it is, we have to recognize that we heal through revealing the truth. But the truth is that you're not your body. You're having the experience through this body of the cause and effect of the universe. And we get to also have the choice to have optimum health in the body. But we have to recognize that we're a cause and effect universe. So if we choose to, have stress for our whole lives, it will cause harm on the body. And the mind may not be strong enough to create the miracle of healing that, right? Or if you are, constantly choosing to eat junk food or put yourself in a lot of environment that's toxic and you get stage 4 cancer, is the mind powerful enough to create the miracle of restoring the consciousness and restoring the body? It's possible. So we have to recognize and take responsibility around all of it. We have to recognize that our consciousness is not just the individual, it's the collective and it's the cosmic. So for me personally, I've had quite a few miraculous experiences with myself, with clients, and just witnessing in the industry, witnessing people when they're doing their E4 trauma method and things and the miracles that happen in their life. So for me, one of the biggest experiences, I've had multiple of them, was I had a car accident when my son was 6 months old, and we had a car accident on the freeway going 60 miles per hour. And I herniated my lower back, the very end of my spine, one of the discs. And it was awful. I would be laid up for 2 weeks at a time. I could not move. It was horrific. And it just kept going on. And I healed it through breath work. I'd lay on my back every night and I would know the truth. And I would know the truth that my body has the infinite intelligence to heal itself. And I did my subconscious work. And I have zero pain in my back. Zero. I've witnessed miracles of people with their headaches going away and aches and pains and arthritis. And I've seen people's hair start growing back out of this work. One day also, it was a miraculous, spontaneous healing, if you will. I had flown in a teacher I was working with from Israel, and he was staying in my home in Park City. And we had, I think, 5 days together, something like that. And the first day it came, I started having like a little scratch in my throat. And I was like, oh, darn it, I hope I'm not getting sick, And by the second day, I realized I absolutely was completely sick. I had the flu. It was on. It was full on. When you're like, okay, it's official. I'm sick. So I was like, I'm going to go to the store and just grab a couple things because I was going to make us some dinner and stuff. And I was on the way to the store and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm sick. Why this week? This is the worst timing ever. I'd paid to fly him in and work with him and all this stuff. And I was like literally screaming at myself. It was like, I was like a crazy woman. And I literally was like screaming at myself to the car, like, this is not okay. We cannot be sick right now. No, we cannot do this. And in that moment, in an instant like that, all of my symptoms went away. It was like the flu was gone. And I was like, I kind of like looked around like, what the hell just happened? And I was totally better. And then I realized the power of decision, the power of mind. What's possible? And look, in New Thought Movement, we're all about traditional doctors as well. We recognize that all medicine and spirituality is just like universal law. It can be used for harmony and amazing and heaven on earth, or it can be inverted and it can be created into disharmony and chaos and harm people, right? There's doctors that do really great things. They create some miracles. They do some surgeries that really have made an impact in people's lives. And there's also part of the medical field that has drugs and things that really harm people's lives. We recognize also in spirituality, there's incredible spiritual teachers that teach great truths. And there's spiritual, people that are doing kind of shady psychic work that harms people and implants all kinds of things in their consciousness, right? We recognize that all of it can be good or bad depending on how we use it. So in the New Thought Movement, we absolutely recognize that it's all God. We recognize that we can create with our minds infinitely and heal ourselves. And we recognize that there's a time and a place to go to a doctor if that's what indicates for somebody, right? So we don't want to make it all or nothing, and we have to recognize the power is always within, which is very interesting because it brings me to the medical industry and recognizing that back in the day, with when doctors oathed in, they had to take their oath, and their oath stated God in it, right? And now they've taken God out of their oath. They make themselves, this thing which we recognize God is within, but we have to recognize our oneness. We have to recognize that aspect of ourselves that is the infinite creator. And so today, as you go into today, I invite you to take a look at where you are in your health. What are you ready to heal? Maybe it's a limited belief. Maybe it is an actual symptom in your body. Maybe it's a pain you have. Maybe it is a dis-ease. Maybe it's whatever. And I recognize right here, right now, that there is a power in this universe that can create miracles instantaneously. Isn't that what Jesus was teaching? You too shall do greater things than I. That's what Jesus said, okay? The Christ is within. The Buddhist consciousness is within. It's all a mental universe. Doctors of divinity are considered doctors because we heal through revealing the truth. Spiritual practitioners are just as valid as a medical practitioner if they are a powerful practitioner and know how to reveal the truth. It is all mental. Truth is the cure. And I recognize this great industry of self-development and of the mental cure movement, and recognizing that we have the power. You don't need to go to any church to have the power. You are the power. The power lives and breathes as you, as every cell in your body, and there's only perfect health because there's only the out picture of what's going on in consciousness. So I recognize I'm not this body. I'm not any pain I've ever had or any suffering or any dis-ease. And I recognize also there's a time to go to the doctor. I had a hysterectomy recently, right? Could it be healed mentally? Absolutely. In that I was not in alignment. I went to the doctors for years not listening to my body and not aligning to having pure food and not aligning to everything. And I had birth control pills for years when I was younger, that now I know that birth control pills causes all kinds of dis-ease in the body, right? We're very uneducated. So there is a time and a place to go to the medical field as well. What's the ideal scene? Of course, it is to align with Mother Nature the entire time and not have to go in for surgery. And there's a time to go in for surgery. But we have to know it's all God and recognize I'm not this body and recognize that I have a choice. And we have the choice. And so today I have amazing health, incredible health, thanks to my father, who also is a naturopath doctor who educates me a lot and helps me get on things like natural bioidentical hormones. I feel better than I've ever felt my entire life. At 48 years old, I have more energy. I am happier. I am less stressed. And I know that I'm not my body. I'm not the circumstances. It's okay if I have a down day sometimes. It's God too. It's teaching me what my truth is and to align to it. I recognize healing is done through the revealing of truth. You have the power to heal through the power of your mind, the power of choice. You've been endowed with infinite intelligence, the innate healer within. And I recognize it is our choice to either align with Mother Nature or not. We're on phones, we're on computers, we're on these things. Of course, they're going to have new vibrations that are not necessarily what we've been dealing with. So everything is about alignment. And you get the choice. You can choose to experience heaven or hell right here by the power of your choice. And so I recognize all healing is done. It's already done. You are untouchable. You are unstoppable. You are immortal. You are eternal. And knowing this, I recognize the mental cure movement and the self-development and the new thought movement. And I'm so grateful for all the minds that recognize it's actually teaching truth out of the Bible instead of some dogmatic thing that puts somebody else in charge of some man in the sky. I am so thankful for truth. Truth has given me my life. And as Jesus said, the truth shall set you free. It's done unto you as you believe. Jesus Christ was just a demonstration of who you are and who I am. We're all just here knowing the truth, having this experience. And so I know today, as you go into today, recognizing the cure is you, the cure is truth, knowing and recognizing that so many great people healed themselves through the mental cure movement. the Fillmores, who started Unity, the entire Unity program, Mary Baker Eddy, who had the largest metaphysical church, Christian Science. She sold 10 million books. She healed herself from tuberculosis through the power of her mind. Phineas Quimby, who had tuberculosis, ended up having incredible health as well. So many great minds. I recognize the power of the mind and the power to heal. You have the power. You are the power. Have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth. And lastly, of course, we are so honored to be developing the Spiritual Practitioner program. We just launched this last week, and it is just such an honor. I was crying on the first call, just tears of joy, because this work has given me my entire life. And so I just know that we are developing, and my commitment is to have the most world-renowned spiritual practitioner program. We develop in consciousness, knowing the truth, all in new thought principles, and science of mind, and unity divine science, the metaphysics, universal law, and the power of mind. We also develop them as spiritual coaches so they can go out and actually monetize and claim their birthright of prosperity, and as business coaches as well, getting developed to understand everything's going online and we have to understand technology. So I'm so honored to have launched that, and people will be able to join at any point in time during the year. We also are committed to having the best world-renowned spiritual coaching program, which has now been out for almost a couple years now. We've had an amazing program as well, getting developed in Truth Triangle and the E4 trauma method, all kinds of modalities to facilitate, to help birth your client's truth and really release themselves of all suffering, getting clear of that legacy and their purpose in their life, and restoring their entire lineage in doing so. And so have a great day, you guys. If you're interested in either of those programs, you can reach out. I'm on social media, drerin.tv, DRERIN.tv, or you can go to the website, soulsociety.com or newthoughtglobal.com. Have a beautiful day again, and may you live your truth. Thank you for tuning in to Soul Society and Dr. Erin podcast. If you've had a calling to be a spiritual leader or coach, you can go to soulsociety.com and check out our free training. If you've received value here, I would love it if you take a moment and give a 5-star review. In exchange, I have a ton of free gifts for you. Grab your free awakening book, 40 guided meditations, and digital manifesting masterclass. I also have a free money meditation and worksheet for you so you can begin to break through your scarcity mindset and claim your birthright of prosperity. You can get all of your gifts and learn about our upcoming transformational events in my bio link in both Instagram and Facebook. That's under drerin.tv, which is DRERIN.tv. Also, I'd love to invite you into our free private community on Facebook under groups called Soul Society. That is facebook.com/groups/Soulciety. That's SOULCIETE. Have a divine day, and may you live your truth.